Hello everyone, it's composer and orchestrator Adam Kempshall here, back with the 100 Years War and our final part of our orchestration walkthrough. And we are now on to proofreading, which, while mainly fairly dull, is also one of the most important parts of what we're doing. So what I'm going to do with today's video is there's going to be a lot of edits, because you don't really need to see me scrolling through page after page of this score. That's not going to be very interesting. I will just show you the bits where I actually find stuff that needs changing. Now, the first thing we can now do, sort of a new stage with Dorico 6, is we can look through its own proofreading feature here, and actually that'll save us finding some other stuff later. So the first thing, we've got a repeated tuba dynamic, so we can get that. Okay, it's telling us our flute trill might be difficult, but I think our flutes will manage that, so we can just ignore that one. Okay, that's fine. It's telling us our double bass notes are too low, but we'll assume they've got a C extension. Right, this happens sometimes where, yeah, so the condensing hasn't worked here, which is odd because I thought all this out. So this is bar 8. Going to have to go into galley view, bar 8 of the bassoons, and probably what that needs is just to lose that. In fact, I'll probably get away with rewriting that dynamic entirely. I can't complain. Okay, so we go back to page view, and it was bar 8, wasn't it? That sorted that out. Okay, it's complaining about the same thing. It does talk about this crescendo here being cut short by or overlapping with another, and I think it's sometimes just because when I'm trying to get stuff into the end of the bar, it doesn't. It does this a lot, but they're worth checking. That's fine. Yeah, that's the same thing. Okay, but sub P dynamic is unexpectedly quiet at the end of a preceding gradual dynamic. Yeah, there's a couple of things going on here, because we don't want that dynamic above there either. So in that bassoon part, and just to go into engrave mode, let's jump again. We don't need that. So rather than spending ages trying to work out what's going on, I'm just going to hide these things for now. Okay. So we just made the crescendo size 1, which I'm pretty sure means it's just, we're not going to see it. We might. I don't think we're going to see it. Okay, because at this point that's just quicker. Right, consider adding restating the dynamic on the first chord following the silence. Well, we're doing that anyway there. It's a bit high for horn, we knew that. Yep, still a bit high, it's just in a different part. Yep. Yep, right, our trumpet dynamic is repeated. We were down to F there, so we can get to that one. It's repeated there as well. And there. That's just telling us might be a bit low for our trombones. We're going to assume they can do that. Yep. Some of it we range things. You can adjust the default settings on the ranges if you're using professional musicians. F dynamic is unexpectedly quiet at the end of a preceding gradual dynamic. I can see where that came up there. It is. Okay, so that should probably just be what is a man. Right. Yep, that doesn't matter. No, neither does that one. And neither does that one. Okay, so that's using the proofreading function. Yeah, clear up anything we found there. I saw an issue already there. It's like, why is our 2-bar click not? That's something I thought I would have picked up last week. I clearly didn't. I'm going to move that just while I'm looking at it now. It's this thing, it's sitting way in the wrong place. It needs to be like there. For proofreading, we're going to go outside the Dorico for this. Before you export things, it can be worth just redoing the numbering on your layouts, renumber layouts. Okay, so don't think that's it. So we can renumber our layouts, and they should now go from 0 to however many. It's just going to be easier to look at. Okay, then we export them all. Right, we are back. It didn't take that long at all in the end. This is a fairly short piece, so there wasn't a huge amount to look at in the end, but still worth doing. There were still some things we might sort out. So I'm just going to run through what we've done. We've got all of the parts open up here as well. So I thought the righteous march looked a little big. I thought this lot was a little squished. So I'll have a look at that. And I wanted these tails to be together in the flute like they are in bar 6. They're not there in bar 5. So I wanted that to match. And that was it. I couldn't really see anything else that was particularly bothering me within the score. I'm going to find one thing there, having talked about tails together. It's just a consistency so that it matches the clarinet. Just going to have a quick, where's the Anya matches what it does later. So what you need to do in Dorico there is force a condensing change. I'm going to find a whole load more of these now, aren't I? And it might be the fact that there's like a staccato on one and not on the other, or something silly like that. But we just want to force to do that. Okay, obviously our flute and our piccolo are going to separate out once they're doing 2 different instruments. But okay, so that was the score. The lute didn't have anything. Flute 2, we had a bit of a spacing thing going up there we'd already talked about. We have a collision with our piccolo sign. I've got 2 piccolo and piccolo sign are colliding with our bar numbers, so we need to look at that. The oboe, we had a restated dynamic in bar 16. Oboe 2, I thought this might look a bit squashed, but actually looking at it, I think I'm not bothered by that, so we'll get rid of that. Nothing in the clarinet part. Yeah, that was the same issue, but I don't think I was bothered by that. The soon part, we had some unaligned dynamics. This would be most of the issues now, is just unaligned dynamics. So like here again, in the bassoon 2, you can see this F. Okay, fine, they've got 4 bars west, but then because it's a lower note, it goes down there. And it just looks nice if they're all lined up. Okay, that was the sole issues in the horns. Here and here. I think that was the issue in everything after this. We go along to the trumpets. There was nothing there, there was nothing there, and there was nothing there. I was quite happy with the trumpet parts. The trombones, that was fine. This one, there's a dynamic that needs aligning there. This is worth, sometimes doing more than once, because you will find other stuff again. It just depends on time. So we'll make sure we align them. I only did this once. Yep, same issue there, same sort of thing. The tuba, I think, was looking fine. The timpani, I want to look at the spacing just of all this information at the start. The percussion part is actually okay. The violins, nothing going on there. Violin 2, no. Viola, yeah, we still had one of these rogue, where we had the poco thing, which like had a rogue F there, and that needs aligning. That needs aligning as well. And then we've got the cello, which was fine. And we had a slight alignment issue there in the double basses. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm not going to show you this bit, because you know what I'm going to do anyway now, so there's no point you having to watch it. I'm going to probably leave it there. I will go back into Dorico. I will make these few small changes that we've done, and then we are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this score and the parts to a Google Drive folder. So if you're really interested in having a good look and probably finding more mistakes, then feel free, and you can see what I've done there and have a good look at it and see what the final product is. So yeah, so my next plan with this channel is to do a series of videos looking more concisely at how we would produce something for a media composer in Dorico, starting from the very beginning and looking more at a Dorico focused series rather than a process focused series as this has been. Okay, so thank you very much. If you've enjoyed these videos, please do like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again next time.